Hey guys, welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host Emily. I hope you are all having a fantastic day and I hope it is about to get a little bit better. So, we are on a time constraint today. Baby Eliza is amazing, but her babysitter, Nanny Byrne, was called in sick today. So, I've had the baby all day. Ollie's just coming from work and we are like tag teaming because I need to get this podcast done. Like, it is something that really grates on me that I don't get a podcast out in a week. I like literally feel like I failed my whole week. So anyway, we're just gonna go straight into it. I have got 5 ways to hack hunger for you today because I think it ties in quite well. You know, it's the second week of February. If we started the whole New Year, New Me diet, we could feel like actually we couldn't stick to it, or we're sort of sledging on it a little bit, or the novelty is wearing off rounds about now. It's what I see a lot. So yeah, I'm hoping that, if you are on a diet or you're trying to do a bit more healthy eating, but you are struggling with hunger, the points that I run through today are things actually you can implement. There's only one in there, which is like a do not. The others are like, the others are a do that you can add in, because I just hate it sometimes when people give advice and they're like, don't do this, don't do that. I'm thinking that's so negative. When actually, if we focus on adding more positive things in, it gives us a more positive outlook on the changes that we're about to make. So that's what we're going to go into. Okay, so 5 ways to hack our hunger. We're going to just go like straight in, like I said. Number 1, no more faffing about. So one of the best things that we can do to manage our hunger when we are dieting, but also just to regulate our appetite in general, is to get sunlight into our eyes. Okay, to get that bright day air. Wow, no, to get that bright daylight into our eyes, because and you'll always hear me speak, if I speak about like morning routine and healthy habits we can have. One of them is getting outside in the morning time, and whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever time you've got, or making time to get some like proper sunlight into our eyes and really opening our eyes bright in that daylight, because this is going to stimulate a hormone called MSH. Okay, and MSH is a hormone that plays a part in regulating our appetite and controlling our appetite. So for me, this is a really good thing that we can do that actually isn't about food when it comes to hunger. The rest are going to be about food, so don't worry about that. But a reason I've started with this one is it's a very small habit that we can implement, that maybe you're sitting there thinking, oh God, well, I actually don't do a morning walk because I do all my steps at night. Maybe you're thinking about steps as like an output thing, which a lot of people do, hit your step count, go for a walk, get your steps in. But from a food point of view, this can really help us. If we are trying to lose fat, getting outside for that early morning walk is going to help control the appetite for the rest of the day. It's going to help you with them hunger cues that we get from our body to signal to eat. Sometimes if we're sitting in that dark, because I really don't want to go into loads of like background stuff on this one because I want to get my points out in the time that I've got. But if you think about, a lot of our bodily functions do relate to night and day and to dark and light. One of the big ones being, we put weight on in winter compared to summer. We tend to find it easier to lose weight, or we can keep a lower body weight in summer. And this is all to do with our light and dark and how our body regulates towards season. So if you think about it in a day-to-day perspective, that if we get light earlier on and we have that light stimulation, it's going to help us not overeat. Whereas if we're just sat in the dark all day, like maybe you just get up and you go straight on your computer and you don't really see outside, and then you find that you're snacking all day, this could be playing a part that you're not stimulating that MSH hormone. So point 1, to hack your hunger, get out on that morning walk, okay? Open your eyes nice and bright. Don't stare directly at the sunlight, just as a little bit of disclaimer there. But do open your eyes and look at the sky, look up at the trees, all of that jazz, and just get that light into your eyes to stimulate them hormones. Okay, excuse me. You know what? I'm going to do a whole podcast one day on the benefits of a morning walk. Just really sell it. Okay, so yeah, number 1, control your appetite, stimulate MSH with the morning walk. Number 2, we are coming on to food, eating whole foods. Okay, and we're going to delve into why, because I know you know this. I know that you should be eating. I know you should be eating your veggies, your not normal vegetables, like homegrown vegetables versus chips. I know you know all this, but do you know Why? Okay, so we're going to go back to a hormone again called CCK. So this hormone is responsible for sending the signal to say, hey, you're satisfied from this meal. Okay, now this hormone is stimulated by proteins and fats. Okay, unfortunately not the fats in ice cream. Okay, we're talking like omega-3s. These are fats that are found in like your fish, your oils, your nuts, them sorts of things. So the reason I wanted to bring this up, so it's stimulated, CCK is stimulated by protein and fats. We know that we should be hitting our protein targets, okay? But one of the things we also probably do when we're dieting is cutting our fats down, because fats do hold a lot of calories. And when we're dieting and we want to keep our calories down, we tend to go for the low fat option. So what can we do to overcome this? Because again, I don't want to give you conflicting advice and say start eating a shitload of fatty food, because we know that that's going to affect your fat calorie deficit. So we can actually, and I'm going to come on to supplements as point number 5, but we can look at getting more omega. We can look at supplementing with omega-3. So I would probably advise, because I did this in my last fat loss, and I'm doing it in my postpartum fat loss, is that I use olive oil as like a bit of a dressing. Now I do weigh it out, because if you don't weigh it out, it's very easy to overconsume on the calories. But a little bit of olive oil, or a little bit of avocado chopped up in your salad to get them good omega-3s in, along with your protein, it's going to stimulate this CCK hormone, which is in response in our digestive system that says, oh, we're eating the good foods. We're getting that signal of we're satisfied. Okay, fats play a massive role in our leptin and ghrelin hormones. Oh, why have I gone sciencey? But bear with me. You've probably heard me talk about this if you're a keen Mission Empowered follower. Leptin and ghrelin are our hunger hormones. Leptin is responsible for saying we're done, we're full, we've had enough. Ghrelin is your hormone that stimulates the feeling of hunger. Okay. Having fats in our diet, or omega-3s in our diet, is responsible for that leptin, that satisfying hormone, okay? And CCK is on path of this, is the hormone that signals in your tummy, we've had this food, but it's stimulated by proteins and fats, okay? So it's important when we look at whole foods, as point number 2 is, that we are getting that protein in from our whole foods. So, your chicken, your fish, your Greek yogurt, your cottage cheese, your lean meats, I know chicken, fish, but yeah, lean meats, your cottage cheese, your yogurt. I'm trying to think what else it's got a protein in. Your beans, your edamame beans, all of that good stuff, okay? Whole foods stimulate a hormonal response, okay? When we have processed foods don't tend to work well with our bodies, because they're so man-made. Our bodies are, acclimatized to like nature and responding to that, to them whole foods from a nature perspective. It's what we've done for millions of years. Have we been around millions of years? Anyway, I think we have, but you see what I mean? At least hundreds of thousands of years anyway. So our bodies are used to digesting and responding to nature's food, which is our whole foods, okay? Not your processed food. So when you're trying to hit your protein, I would absolutely recommend that you're trying to do it 80% through whole foods, because I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say I don't have a ready-made protein shake from Aldi, or I don't have a protein yogurt because they taste nice. But what I will say is, I know that my main meals, like my breakfast, lunch and dinner, the protein that is in there is whole protein. It's where I'm getting my lean meats in, which is predominantly what I get my protein from in my diet, a variation of lean meats. And that is what this CCK responds to, is whole foods, okay? So you've got your proteins, you've got your fats. So definitely incorporating some of them into your diet. Now, point two, that was 2.1. 2.2, sticking with whole foods, is fiber, okay? Fiber is absolutely going to help your hunger, because fiber is harder to digest for your body. Therefore, when your body's going through the process of emptying the contents from your stomach, fiber sits in there longer, because it takes longer to break down with our stomach acids. So if your tummy isn't being emptied as quick, you're not going to feel hungrier. You're not going to feel hunger quicker. That was a complete fucked up sentence, but hopefully you've worked out what I was trying to say. If you're having fiber and it sits in our tummy longer than, having an ice cream, the rate that you're going to feel hunger is going to be longer. Woo! I hope this is landing, guys. Hope you get it. But yeah, so eating fiber, these are things like your whole grains, okay? Your fibrous vegetables, your cauliflower, your broccolis, your carrots, things that are, got a bit of roughage in them. And asparagus, your body's going to really respond well to these. And I haven't even touched on the health benefits, the digestive benefits, because we're sticking to hunger. But as you can imagine, focusing on getting more fibrous fruit and veg in, it's going to help you in a health point of view as well. So whole grains. So if you haven't, this is why I always recommend to have whole grain bread, wholemeal pasta, wholemeal rice, compared to the white stuff, just because it sits in our tummy longer. Okay, and when your body has got fiber in its gut, it's also really good for your gut microbiome as well, which is responsible for 100 million other things that are going to promote better health. So point 2, eat your whole foods. Point 2.1. We want to signal that CCK response of that we're satisfied through having whole protein and fats. Point 2.2, get your fibre in because it'll sit in your tummy longer and keep you fuller for longer. Why didn't I just say that before? Okay, point 3 then. God, we are getting through these. This is the only thing that I say don't on, okay? And it's not even a definite don't. It's a cut down. It's a reduce, okay? Reducing processed sugar. Okay, so reducing the cereal bars, the 99 calorie bars, the 99 chocolate bars. Like if you're having 3 or 4 99 calorie sugary snacks a day, I would probably say you're setting yourself up more of a fail, purely for the fact that these little sugary snacks signal that dopamine response of, oh, that tasted nice, I want more. Okay, so not only do they signal the response for us to want more, but they don't fill us up. So you are getting, when we think about eating, it is a full process, okay? We want to be stimulated by like the smell, the sight, the taste. Then we want to chew it and we want to swallow it. Then we want it to sit in our tummy. Then we want to feel full. And then we let time pass. We let our body do its thing and then we eat again. The problem with these sugary snacks is we only do half the cycle. We're signaled by the smell, the sight, or the taste of it, and then we eat it and that's it, because they don't fill us up. Your body doesn't have to work very hard to break it down. Yeah, it just signals that glucose response, which is that sugar spike. And because the sugar spike can go up quite high with sugary things, it also dramatically comes down quickly. And when our bodies, whenever they have a sugar drop, whether it comes from that we've just eaten something sugary quite quickly, or whether we've gone ages without eating, it's a similar response, that your body is still saying, okay, we need to eat now, we need sugar, go find us it. Okay, and that is something with dieting that you really, really, really can't fight back against, because it is your body is dialed in survival mechanism of telling you need to eat. You can't go, shut up, body. Okay, there's something like it just overcomes us, and we're like, right, I need food. Okay, because it's a body survival way to do it. It's stronger. So we need to be doing things that don't signal that response, such as whole foods, proteins, all this jazz. Okay, but cutting down your sugary snacks and cutting down your processed sugar in your diet is also going to help balance that blood glucose, your blood sugar levels, so that you're not getting this big peak and this big trough. Okay, now I am going to give you a little hack though on this, because again, I'm not going to tell you I don't eat chocolate or I don't eat little things, because I do. In fact, I had one today. Okay, little dream bar, loved it. But whenever I fancy something sugary, I always make sure it's after my whole food meal. Okay, I don't very rarely have a sugary snack on an empty stomach, because I know, well, after I've eaten that chocolate bar, for example, I'm not going to be full, but I'm going to be getting the signal to eat more. So what am I going to end up doing? I'm going to probably eat more chocolate, and you just go in this cycle then. And that's where people say, oh, I'm on a diet, so I'm fucking not eating breakfast, lunch, and I'm just having dinner and snacks in the day. I'm a snacker. Oh, okay. So being a snacker is literally failing before we start. Okay, you need to be eating bigger meals. So this is going on to our next one. Bigger meals with whole foods in. Okay, so 2 reasons why we want to cut down the sugar. 2 points on the sugar, cutting down the sugar. 1, it's it's going to be more addictive. We're going to eat more. But two, if you do want it, have it after your meal. So your tummy has already got protein in, it's got fiber in, so it's nice and full. When we have sugar on top of protein and fiber, it doesn't have the same sugar body response as having it on an empty stomach, okay? That blood sugar uptake is slowed down by the protein and the fiber. So if you want something sweet, have it after a meal. Simple as, okay? And the likelihood is as well, you're going to feel more satisfied because when you have that something sweet, it's not like you're going to be, I want more because I'm starving, because you've already had that big meal before it. Okay. But number three, we do want to cut down on the sugary snacks to hack hunger, because if we're in this cycle of snacking on sugary snacks, we're going to over consume them, which is not, which is not good for our calories. And it's just going to keep that hunger going. Because if we're not filling up on full meals and we're just having sugary snacks, it's just this cycle that carries on. Okay, number 4 then. You can implement meal timings, bit of structure to your day. So this doesn't have to be, bang on the minute of the hour, breakfast 9, 12, dinner at 5 every single day. And if I miss it, it's all gone tits up. Doesn't have to be like that. You can give yourself a window of time, which again is something that I implement. Okay. I implement that within the first hour of waking, I have my breakfast, because again, I'm very early postpartum mum. I don't know whether it gets better or not, but the mornings can be a little bit here, there, and everywhere. So I have to give myself that window, because otherwise I'm setting myself up in that all or nothing mindset where I'm probably going to fail on it. So giving yourself a bit of a window of saying, right, well, I'll have my breakfast between 8 and 9, and I'll have my lunch between 12 and 1. The reason this is going to help you, one, it's going to help you plan your meals more. So if you're having structure to your meals, you will need to know, well, what am I having for my breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Therefore, you're going to plan it. You're going to be a little bit more in control of what you're consuming, and you're not just like, oh, I'll just grab that whenever. Okay. But number 2, it's going to help you when we're on a diet. The feeling of hunger is like our nemesis, right? We're like, oh no, I'm hungry. But what can really help is that if you have your breakfast at 9 and then at 11:30 you start to get that hunger feeling, well, your window that you give yourself is between 12 and 1 to have your lunch. So actually, you're not thinking, oh my God, I'm starving, I haven't brought lunch because I wasn't going to eat lunch because I'm on a diet. You could probably then go, well, actually, it's 11:30. I'm going to have a massive glass of water, and then I'll have my lunch at 12. And then I know then that you can handle that feeling of hunger. You know that food is coming. Okay. So that was the first point. The second point is, do you remember just about 10 minutes ago, I spoke about your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin? Leptin is responsible for fullness, ghrelin is responsible for hunger. Well, you can actually sort of train your ghrelin hormone. So when you do structured eating, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever, if you're eating roughly at the same time each day, your ghrelin hormone will become responsive to that time. So if you say to yourself, I'm eating lunch between 12 and 1, and you do stick to that, and you do it for a good few weeks, what you then might find is you don't get hungry between 9 and 12, but 12 o'clock comes and you can start to feel it coming. And you're like, oh, well, I'm a little bit hungry now. Oh, that's fine, because I know that I'm having my lunch now and I've prepped my lunch, so I know that I'm eating it, okay? So you can see how that's a positive, is that you can train your ghrelin to be responsive to the meal structure times that you're giving yourself, the windows of time that you're eating. The opposite effect is, if you don't do that and you have absolutely no structure to your meal times, your ghrelin doesn't know. It is like, right, we're hungry. Oh, we're hungry. We're, just flying in hunger at all different fucking times. And then you end up eating loads of different snacks, because maybe one night you have got your tea planned in, but that's one night in 2 weeks. And then you get hungry at 3 o'clock. So you'd have a sandwich, and then your tea's planned for 5:30, and then you'd end up overeating. You can see how it can become a little bit chaotic. So 2 benefits of your meal timings. One, from a mindset point of view, that if you do start to feel a little bit hungry, you've got planned in that meal timing window. And then the other one is training that ghrelin, so you are not hungry all the time. Okay, again, I hear this so much with people. I'm hungry all the time, that's why I can't diet. But I guarantee there's no meal structure in there, there's no meal time, and all the protein isn't up at the hot. There'll be something, because as humans, if we do this right, we can absolutely manage hunger. We can do it. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, point 5, is, are there supplements that can help manage hunger and cravings? And the answer is yes, there is. So the first one I'm going to touch on, I spoke about in point 2, which is your omega-3. Okay, your omega-3 fatty acids. So we know that this helps signal CCK, but omega-3 also helps balance out your blood sugars. We know that a drop in blood sugars is responsible for sugar cravings. Okay, so if we're on a diet, the likelihood is we're probably not eating a lot of high fat food. So I would recommend supplementing omega-3. Definitely, as a little disclaimer, if you are going to take any supplements, just do a quick research. Okay, like anything and any supplements that we take, there are what's the word? Not, why am I thinking sidelines? Not sidelines, not maybe guidelines I was thinking of. But there are guidelines of, some types of people, if you're on types of medication, that you shouldn't take certain supplements, okay? So please, if you're going to implement any of this, just do a quick research before this supplement is right for you. So number 1, like I said, is your omega-3 to help with them sugar cravings, but also to stimulate that CCK response, because we're probably not having a lot of fat in our diet. Number 2 is magnesium. So you may have heard magnesium as like a hormonal support, because it can really, really help with the symptoms of PMS symptoms. Okay, symptoms of PMS symptoms, girls. Baby mammering all day and then recording a podcast is another level. So magnesium helps with PMS symptoms. What is one of the most common PMS symptoms? Sugar cravings, okay? So by taking magnesium, again, you can help with them sugar cravings if you have them. The next supplement is caffeine, okay? AKA coffee. Now, I'm not talking about, caramel skinny latte with whipped cream on. Unfortunately, I'm talking about your standard coffee, whether it's a black coffee or it's a black coffee with a dash of milk, or whether it's like a black tea, a green tea. A caffeinated beverage can help, okay? You'd have also got things like your Diet Coke, your Pepsi Max, which do have caffeine in. Now, I'm not telling you to go and live off these, okay? But when you're dieting, caffeine can be quite handy because it is an appetite suppressant. So if I want to be really clear, like, I don't know why I feel like I need to say this, but I do not have just a black coffee for your breakfast and class that as a meal. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I am saying is, having your breakfast, maybe half an hour later, you can have a cup of coffee. That might tide you over till your lunch at 12, okay? Let's say, because you do get a little bit hungry on diet, and it is normal, but we're talking about hunger where we're signaling that response of, I need to eat and I need to eat now. Say you'd have breakfast at 9, you'd have lunch at 12, 11 a.m, you start to feel that hunger and you're like, oh, do you know what's a bit distracting this? That's when you can maybe look at supplementing caffeine, having a coffee, having a green tea, just to surpass that hour till you get to lunchtime. Okay, so we have got caffeine. Side note, I wouldn't recommend having caffeine after your dinner of a night, excuse me, because obviously that's then going to affect your sleep. Wow, how have I not touched on sleep? That'll be my last one. I've just had a bit of a light bulb moment. So we've got omega-3, magnesium, caffeine, which can help tide over a little bit of hunger, and then supplementing with protein stuff. So the reason it's a supplement is, as I said in point 2, whole protein is better for you. Okay, having them whole protein sources, whether it's we listed them off: your lean meats, your beans, your cottage cheese, your yogurt, all of that. Okay, but having a protein supplement can be very, very handy for, again, you've had a busy day, because loads of things affect hunger, like sleep. I don't know what's going on with my throat, by the way. I'll wrap this up because there is nothing more annoying than someone having a shit throat. Right. Sleep affects hunger. If we have lack of sleep, we tend to be hungry in the day because we're lacking in energy. Your body tells you to go and eat more to keep your energy stocked up, okay? Activity. If you've had a busy day, let's say on a whim that you've gone to a double back-to-back, maybe you did a workout and then did a class, or maybe you did a weight training and cardio, maybe you've done a big exercise day, okay? You're going to be hungrier because your body's response is, we've burnt loads of energy, we need to top it up, okay? So on these days, maybe you've had a really focused day in work, mental energy is gone. Mental energy is that can promote hunger. So the reason I say keeping protein in the house is handy is as a snack. Okay, if you get in and right, well, I had my lunch at 1, I'm having my dinner at 5 or 5:30, I need to have a snack at 3 o'clock, okay? And you don't want to go for the muffin. So a protein shake can be really, really handy supplement because we know it's going to contribute to that protein goal. We know that protein stabilizes our blood sugar levels and it is the most satiating macronutrient, okay? Having whey protein or a clear whey, whether it's in your car, at work, at home, whatever, can be really handy to top them protein levels up, okay? Now, girls, they are my 5 points to hack hunger. Morning walk stimulates MSH. Get your whole foods in to stimulate your CCK and your fibre to fill your tummy. Cut down on your sugar so you don't get caught in that sugar snack cycle. Structure, meal timings, meal window, and then supplements. But like I just said, I do want to quickly touch on, these are all very proactive hacks that we can do. I can't believe I didn't touch on sleep, by the way. I'm really shocked at myself. Getting enough sleep is probably one of the biggest things that will decide whether you're keeping your hunger and your appetite in bay the following day. When we go to sleep, it is our body's way of like doing a reset, okay? It goes through everything. Your body goes through like, a deep clean every night. Everything gets reset. Your energy levels are up the next morning because you're well rested. If we miss out on all of that and your body is sludging and it hasn't done its deep clean, its deep reset, your body still needs to have energy, okay? So if we're not getting the energy from rest, your body will want that energy from food. So it will absolutely stimulate your hunger because it will, not because you are hungry, but because your body needs mental energy. Don't forget, carbohydrates are the body's primary source of energy, of fuel, okay? Especially the brain. Pointing to your brain just in case you didn't know where that was. So when you have a shit night's sleep, it is no coincidence that you want toast, cereal, pastries, snacks, okay? It's no coincidence. It's your brain saying, I need fuel because I'm struggling to function. So above all of them 5 points, go to fucking sleep. Early to bed, okay? That is one of the best things for dieting. And we'll wrap it up there. I've got half an hour. We're on 27 minutes. Let's go. I really hope you found this quick, straight to the point and helpful. Girls, it would really, really help me out if you could share me on the socials. We're trying to always grow the Mission Empowered podcast. I need to get a jazzy set up. I need to be in like a studio or something. We'll work on that for 2025 goals. But as always, if it did help, please share it on your socials. Drop me a message and let me know that it helped @_em.powered on Instagram. And I will catch up with you all next week. Have a good one. Stay full. Speak to you soon. Love you. Bye.